Yeah, the mugshot just won him the election.
Nah.
If I can't see him not winning now with the popularity of the mugshot.
I thought about it, but man, when I look at the numbers, right, they said he did like 7.1 million sales of the T-shirt, right? Yeah. $47 a pop. Great, by the way, great marketing. $47, because if he wins the next election, he'll be the 47th president.
Ooh.
$47 a pop, right? But when you do the math, that's 150,000 T-shirts sold.
Okay.
So let's just say either people were buying doubles, triples, or let's just say one person bought one T-shirt. That's only 150,000 people. What I'm telling y'all, and this is what I truly feel, I don't think the energy exists for Trump in the real world like it does online. Because where are the crowds at the jail, Schultz? How come when he's turning himself into these places, it's not these massive rallies? Where's the smoke? But think about how scared we were, you know, when he first turned himself into New York and everybody was bracing themselves like, oh my God, it's gonna be riots, it's gonna be this and be that. We ain't seen none of that yet. And God forbid we don't want it. I'm just saying, I don't think people have the energy for Trump like we think they do.
Man, my energy's there. No, I just think his ability to take over the internet is unprecedented in all seriousness.
Yes, but that's all it is.
But that's all you need now.
No, it's not. You need more.
I don't think you do. And I think if they do, listen, I think Biden has a chance to beat Trump if they do mail-in ballots. If you actually have to go and vote yourself, there's no way in the hell Biden will win. But if they rig it so that you can do your mail-in ballots and they send everybody the ballots or whatever, then of course.
I'm just disgusted.
But nobody cares enough about Biden to go to the.
No enthusiasm. I'm with you. It's voter apathy like a motherfucker.
But if they give everybody the ballot and it's already self-addressed and stamped and everything, you have to do nothing. You literally just have to check one box and then put it in your thing. You'll do that for Biden just because you hate Trump. But if you have to get up on a fucking Tuesday and wait in line to vote for Biden, no way. Now, here's the crazy thing. People just aren't reflective enough. I think they've actually liked their life under Biden way more than they liked their life under Trump.
Explain.
They might like Trump's policies more. They might like how bombastic Trump is. They might like how hilarious he is. They might like how insensitive at times he is and entertaining he is. But I think the calmness of the Biden presidency, which is a function of him literally never saying anything. He's just been in a bunker the entire time. The calmness that happens when the leader of the country never reacts to anything makes you not react to their reaction.
It's only calm because of Trump, though. If Trump didn't have 91 criminal charges and 4 indictments, they'd be all over Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and all the corruption around
I don't
them.
think so.
I do.
I think what happens is you only take down or want to push back against or support a leader when he speaks on things. Biden never publicly speaks on shit. I don't think we've seen a president less in the modern era than Biden, right? And it's probably because they're like, okay, every time he speaks, he kind of looks a little bit uncomfortable out there and then people lose faith. But in terms of their lives, I wish the average person would just, and you know me, I'm not some like fucking thumping for Biden. I'm just saying the calmness of this last 2 years or whatever the fuck it was compared to the chaos.
People like political normalcy.
Yeah, I think they just like to check out, and they've been able to check out for 2 years.
That's why a lot of people say, you know, I saw Styles' piece. Styles said that he liked Trump in office because he felt like people paid more attention when Trump was in office.
And I did prefer when Trump was in office over Biden, and I could tell you clearly why.
Why?
Black people paid more attention to what was going on.
I mean, I disagree with that only because I look at the legislation that Trump rolled out, or even putting the Supreme Court appointments in, like you don't get, you know, Roe v. Wade, you know, thrown out if you don't put those Supreme Court judges in. So personally, legislation-wise, I don't think having Trump in is worth it.
Here's the thing. Biden, the only thing that riles people up is the culture war. Right? So the culture war is about these issues that are incredibly divisive and usually on like political lines, right? So it's like trans is a big issue right now. It's like, or LGBTQ, like, and you'll see people hate Disney because they're about to put out a movie that has trans this or gay that, right? And now the people that are pro LGBTQ, they're going, oh, this is awesome at Disney do it. And then anti, and there's these big fights, right? Biden, it feels like for the last 2 years, has avoided every culture war topic. Yes, there's been times where he had the trans people at the White House, but they're not blowing that up as big as possible.
But that's smart.
No, I guess that's what I'm saying. So he's avoided every culture war topic, and therefore there's not a lot to rally against. Trump constantly hits culture war topics. That's all he's hitting. He's going. He knows that if he needles away at that, people are going to get excited, talk about it. And the more people get excited and talk, good or bad, the more attention goes on him. And then he can, what he believes is win an election that way. So
it's funny you say that because a lot of Republicans, conservatives feel like it's the other way around. They feel like Democrats focus too much on culture war. The GOP focuses on everyday issues.
Democrats are different than Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, there are, of course, Democrats that you have like the AOCs of the world. Now they've told her to be quiet and she shut up pretty much. But when she wasn't, doing whatever they tell her, she was really tapping into that culture war and she was getting all this attention, right? Because she was a representative, she was a mouthpiece for all these people that did feel aggrieved by those specific topics. Just like when Robert Kennedy Jr. comes out and be like, yo, that vaccine, we got to look into it. Like there's a lot of people who are anti-vax and now that's the biggest mouthpiece for that specific topic. And I think what Biden did for 2 years is just didn't have a reaction to anything. And by not having a reaction to anything, we didn't react to his reaction and things were calmer.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that that's a better way to lead. What I'm saying is if we compare our anxiety to Trump, Obama, Bush, to Biden, it is way cooler and lower now.
But that's why it sucks around election time because Biden got to hit the goddamn trail.
He got to talk.
And you got to fucking energize people. We if you go back and listen to Oprah in this episode, we said, I don't want to have to deal with Trump doing exactly what he's doing right now, sucking all the air out of the goddamn media. You know what I mean? But I personally, man, if I was a conservative, if I was a GOP, I would want Trump to move out of the way. And there's a poll that says, there was a poll, I don't know if it was Republicans they polled or if it was Americans, but I think it was either half of Americans want Donald Trump to suspend his campaign.
Half of them.
I think so. Look that up, Taylor. I think it's more than half of Americans want him to suspend his campaign. I agree. Because, why would you want somebody with this much distraction?
But is that surprising?
No.
Of course.
Sort of, kind of.
Every Democrat is just like, yo, get out of here. And every Republican is like, yo, do it. And you know that he's got the Republican nominee locked because everybody on that stage almost at the Republican debate, well, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of the Republicans refused to just be like, yo, that guy's an asshole, get him the hell out of there. Because they knew that they would piss off the base.
Yeah, I just wonder what the base, I really do wonder what the base is. I wonder if Trump bought in a new generation of MAGA base, but I wonder what that old conservative, original Republican base feels. You know what I'm saying? Like if you piss off the Trump MAGA base, is that really going to hurt you in a general? I don't know. I don't feel like too many independents going to vote for Trump this go around, man. I think that hypothetical swing voter that voted for Obama and then turned around and voted for Trump, I don't know if they vote for him this time around.
I think it depends what they want to vote on, right? And I think the Republicans will try to make the conversation that Democrats are trying to transition kids. And they'll be like, look at all these Democrats, they're trying to transition children. We got to protect the children, protect the children, protect the children. I think that's how Republicans will position like one of the big talking points. Whereas before it was like the border.
The border. I don't even know what Trump's policies are this time.
Yeah.
And I mean this is...
I'm just saying they have to pick one, and it seems like that's the culture war right now. Like the Republicans go, we're going to protect the kids, we're going to protect the kids, protect the kids. And the Democrats, they believe that they're also protecting the kids, right? By providing them this care that they need. Now, there's a disagreement on if that care should be allowed for a underage child, right? Should you be allowed to keep a secret from your parents if you're an underage child? If you're an underage kid, you literally have to ask your parents for permission to go to the movies. You have to ask your parents for permission to go on a fucking ride at an amusement park. Like you need permission from them for everything. Why are we creating this caveat where you are becoming the parent of the kid? So I understand Republicans or conservatives' frustration with that. So I think what happens is
Trump, that enough to get people to the polls?
I think if you have a few of those together, so I think what Trump will do is isolate those issues and then lean on what he thinks will rile his base up and independents the most.
I don't think he's capable of doing that at his age right
That's
now.
fair.
With 91 criminal charges and 4 indictments.
That's
Because
fair.
he keeps saying, I'm getting arrested for y'all. That's cool, but is that enough to make you want to vote for him? You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, you're like, I don't know if you're still getting arrested for us, buddy.
Is there?
I think some of this got to be on you.
Okay, is there a little bit like, is there any part of you that looks at this and then goes,
I'm voting for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.,
not I'm voting for Robert Kennedy
Cornell?
Jr. Like,
Marianne.
when you see the people that are against him, now it's a really interesting thing because people used to be like pro-Trump. Now I think they're anti-establishment.
That's why Vivek shines.
Of course, Vivek.
He's
Yeah.
the only one. He's up there saying, I'm not a politician.
And exactly. So I think that the people on the left and the right, we have this disdain for the establishment, right? The news and the internet has really exposed that there's been time where the government have lied to us or withheld information, as all governments do, and we're tired of them lying. So whatever candidate is calling out our frustration with the government, i.e. a Vivek, right, or a Trump, we will gravitate to, not because we like them, but because we don't like the establishment. So our disdain for the establishment, I think, might push many of those, what'd you call, like casuals or independent
hypothetical
voters.
swing voters.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just lean towards whoever is the most anti-establishment. And Trump is always, I mean, you could even make the argument right now that what he's going through is representative of the establishment attacking him. He's pushing back against the establishment, and he will frame it like that. He will go, listen, the establishment, those old politicians, all those old elites that are controlling America and controlling your interests and starting these foreign wars and sending your kids out to die for nothing. They're also, you gotta tell your man, they're also attacking us. Yeah.
What the hell?
They're also attacking me. So if you don't like them and you think that they're ruining your country so that they could profit, vote for me because I'm gonna shut them all down. I think that's the combo.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a thought till fucking Drax distracted me. What the fuck?
Basically what I'm saying is I think the energy right now is the establishment has failed us and the establishment is putting us in this fucked up situation. Like, I think a lot of people are like, yo, that's a lot of $1 billion to give Ukraine while we got people suffering
100%.
over here.
But everybody's saying that. Like there's even Democrats saying that. Everybody's saying that. That's just ridiculous. The thing I would say about Trump is, yes, people are anti-establishment, but I don't think anybody's anti-establishment enough to say fuck the Constitution. And when you got a man who literally said we should suspend the Constitution, that should concern all Americans. Because all we want.
When did he say that?
I don't fucking know. Chris Christie kept saying it at the fucking debate
Trump
stage.
said we should suspend
the Constitution. When did he say that, Chris?
Suspend habeas corpus? Like.
No, he said we should suspend the Constitution. I forgot what it was for, but he said we should suspend the Constitution because Chris Christie kept.
And former President Donald Trump called for the termination of the Constitution to overturn the 2020 election.
That's what it was.
And reinstate him to power. I'm trying to see what the date.
And then on Saturday, seemingly out of nowhere, called for the suspension of the Constitution as yet another attempt to overturn the 2020 election.
And Chris Christie kept bringing that point up at the debate, and I was like, huh. And so when I'm looking it up to see what it was, I'm like, I don't want that kind of president. I don't want a president that does not give a fuck about the Constitution. And we hear politicians say that all the time about Trump, like, he doesn't care about the Constitution. But to hear that come out of his mouth,
I think that's
I don't
reasonable.
want that.
I think that's very reasonable. I think there's no more important, document.
That's it. All we want is the Constitution to work for everybody.
Absolutely, 100%.
White people, black people,
But
Jewish people, Asians, everybody here in America.
100%. I just wouldn't look at the Constitution. Isn't the establishment? The Constitution is Jesus. The Constitution is like what we should live up to. So you got to
get rid of Jesus.
You can't get rid of Jesus, bro.
Can't get rid of
Can't
Jesus.
get rid of Jesus because this is the idea. This is the perfect man. This is the perfect human being. And if we all live this life, then we could live a godly life. And I think that's the idea with the Constitution. It's like if we lived up to the ideals in this Constitution and everybody had them, then wow, this would be absolutely amazing.
So what does that say about you that you want to get rid of it because things didn't go your way?
I mean, if I'm Chris Christie, if I'm any Democrat, I'm leaning into that big time. Like,
please don't lean too
more...
much, Chris Christie. You're going to hurt somebody.
But yeah, there's no more important. There's a great knock on him, and that was a foolish thing for him to say, 100%.
And he acts like he's above the law.
Yeah.
He acts like a person who doesn't abide by the Constitution.
Yeah.
So when you hear him say that, I'm like, you know what? I think the Trump experiment has ran its course.
Yeah, but you got to